so many ways to communicate nowadays, whether it be through computer, books, social media, and hundreds more. But did you know that cells have their own way of communicating? Think about it for a sec. You're a cell, and you have a lot to do. You have to copy tons of DNA. You have to synthesize hundreds and hundreds of proteins. You have to keep your organelles in check. You have to protect from intruders. Ow! And on top of all this, you have to know when, why, how, and how much to multiply. So how do you do all that and communicate what you're doing to other cells? Well, that brings us to our next topic. Cell communication.
Cell communication starts in the membrane, the lipid membrane. Imagine a slippery pile of olive oil constantly moving with specks of pepper and salt thrown in. In these membranes, there are proteins, the pepper specks, and carbohydrates, the salt specks. The carbohydrates, either in the form of glycolipids or glycoproteins, serve as a beacon to other cells to tell them what the cell is. It's like a group of people with different haircuts. You can identify the person based on the style and look of their hair. This is like how cells can recognize other cells based off of the location of molecules and type of molecule on the membrane.
Now that you got that down, let's talk nerdy.
There are 3 types of ways cells can communicate: long distance, synaptic, and paracrine signaling. Paracrine signaling is short distance, like whispering into someone's ear or shouting at them from across the house. When cells move signals through junctions, it's like standing next to your friend and whispering directly into their ear. When cells are some distance apart and a local regulator molecule has to pass from one membrane to the next, it's like your mom shouting at you from across the house. You can hear her, and so can your siblings. This is like how a local regulator can cause several cells to react to the signal simultaneously. Synaptic signaling is like a water slide. Think of the top of the slide as one side of the cell that pushes the electrical signal. The space between the slide and the pool is the synapse, and the pool as the receiving cell. You're the neurotransmitter. An electrical signal passes through a neuron. Neurotransmitters are released into synapses and then received by the other cell. Long-distance signaling is like mailing a package. The hormone, or package, is mailed by plane, the blood vessel, the bloodstream, and the person you sent the package to directly receives it, like how the receiving cell is the only cell that can bind to that hormone. Receiving the signal is like a daily puzzle being sent in the mail. Everyone receives the puzzle, like every cell receives the signal, but only some can solve it, just like how only certain cells can bond to the signal molecule, or ligand. There are 2 types of receptors: G-protein coupled receptors and ligand-gated ion channels. GCPRs are like keycards in hotels. The keycard, or ligand, is swiped at the keypad, or GCPR, resulting in the activation of the lock, GTP, which then allows you to open the door, the cellular response. Ligand-gated ion channels are similar, but they don't need a keycard. They're closer to keys. The ligand enters the keyhole, changing the form of the lock, like how the ligand opens the protein channel and unlocks the door. Then you, the molecule, can enter. Some molecules are hydrophobic, like lipids, and readily get into the cell. Think of it like a nightclub. The bouncer lets you in, but then you have to get a wristband, bind to a hormone receptor complex, enter the bar, or enter the nucleus, grab a drink, attach to RNA, and act as a transcription factor so certain genes express themselves, like getting drunk and dancing on the table. But now there's protein kinases and protein phosphatases to deal with. Once a ligand enters, it sets off a cascade, a signal transduction pathway, to signal the cell to do something. Think of a protein kinase as a grenade, and the protein phosphatase as the pin. The grenade's pin is taken out, causing the grenade to blow up, like activating a kinase. The blow up causes a chain reaction, causing all other grenades to blow up. Finally, there's a cellular response after the destruction, like the fear of multiple grenades going off. The cellular response after transduction can vary, but most cells end up coding for proteins to serve bodily functions or end up dividing. Cellular communication is basically a row of motorcycles. If you tip one, you tip the others, which angers either one, some, or all of the motorcycle owners. Just like how one signal causes multiple cells to react differently, but also how one signal could possibly only reach one type of cell, which was all caused by a signal in the first place. That is cell communication in a nutshell.